Mocast, the podcast beyond World of Warcraft.
Welcome everybody to the Mocast episode 13. And guess who it is today? Of course, you already saw the thumbnail and the title, but nevertheless, you know, it's the speculation master, is the prophet of Flame. How weird does that sound? Because we also have Flame there. But hey, everybody, give it up for Mr. Pyromancer, finally. Welcome,
Finally on
dude.
the show, we got him.
We got him. We got him.
Hey guys, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Thank you for joining, man. It's
Of course.
We gotta say it's been a little bit of a rough road to finally get Pyro in here. He had a couple of hiccups and stuff. We'll probably get into that, but yo, we love Pyro for the lore videos mostly, but he has a lot more history just that. Probably a lot of you know him for the lore as well. We're gonna get into all of that, but enough talk by us. Pyro, just say something a little about yourself, about your content on YouTube, whatever. Then we can go into the details.
Sure. So as you guys know, my name is Pyromancer. I do lore speculation, kind of like theory crafting content on YouTube. I mostly focus around the story and doing analysis of literature and stuff like that, like the Chronicle books. So
Hell yeah.
I didn't start off doing that, but that's what I do now, and I stream on Twitch and usually spend more time talking about the game than playing the game. So that's kind of what I do. It's the passion that keeps me interested in World of Warcraft.
It's a beautiful thing, guys. And if we already had here Noble and Akalon, wasn't it like to complete
About
like
time.
the Triforce of the lore gods?
Trifecta.
Trifecta, yeah. Wasn't it like all natural to get Pyro in here as well? I mean, you already know for lore stuff, you know, quite documented stuff and really solid speculation, which a lot of it came to be true. A lot of it, some came partially true, but a lot of it did come true.
A lot of it, I wish it came true, man. Jesus
Okay,
Christ.
Thanks.
I'm gonna be honest here. Like the first time I saw a couple of your videos, because I believe you started the whole speculation shit more seriously. I think it was in Legion somewhere, 2017-ish, right?
Yes, that is
Right.
correct.
All right, so I'm gonna be honest here. The first time I saw, like, I think it was a speculation either on Argus or the ending of Legion, something like that. And I said, man, get the fuck out of here with this bullshit. Ain't no way Blizz is gonna do that. And he just knocked it off the park. I think Pyro was among the first to say the stuff about Argus and, you know, all of the pantheon of titans and everything. It was pretty fucking mind blowing for you to be right. How does your mind work, my dude? How do you? Are you like a detective in real life? How does it work?
What is your day job?
My day job, I'm a computer salesman. So,
Okay, technical.
Now that makes sense.
No, I mean, I don't know. Like, I think that there was always something that grasped me about that greater storyline involving these unknown kind of enigmatic gods, and something always rubbed me the wrong way about them a little bit. It just seemed weird, the way that they were spoken about in Chronicle, and I just started looking into it, and I was like, man, something just feels really off here. Something seems wrong, and so I just started reading more and more about it, and there came a time where like there was like a point of no return. You know, you see so much stuff, and you're like, man, I don't want to like be convinced like completely, but I don't know how else I can see this now that I've started to notice these details. So I don't know, it just kind of happened.
Is it like I know you took a little bit of a break, more or less, not being as active within WoW. I mean, it usually does show with content creators, kind of shows, because if you're not that present, you know, online publicly, most probably you're not playing the game as much as well. Well, I kind of know. Is it your main motivation, or was it your main motivation at least maybe ending Legion and going through BFA just the lore, or did you have something else in the back? Because I know you mythic rated, fool. I know you did that.
Yeah, I did mythic rating, and I did heroic rating before it was mythic, essentially from Garrosh until the end of Legion. I think every cutting edge, and that's what I played for originally. Like, that's what I got into WoW for, was the rating aspect, and I miss rating so much. Like, don't get me wrong. But I think definitely towards the end of Legion, it kind of transitioned into being really involved with the story. Sargeras and the Burning Legion being such a focal point of Legion, Go figure.
Yeah.
Really grasped my attention, and at the same time, after not Mythic Antorus, but Mythic Tomb of Sargeras, that raid just crushed me, dude. That raid just crushed my will to like Mythic raid anymore. And so I very lightly Mythic raided in Antorus. I did like the first couple bosses, and then was like, I just can't do it anymore. So that's when I got into lore, and Antorus was like the raid to get into lore for.
Oh fuck yeah.
So because we got so much revealed to us. So yeah, it definitely was towards the end of Legion going into BFA, and it really was my main motivation playing BFA. And like the raids and the dungeons and stuff were good, don't get me wrong, but it definitely isn't the gameplay or the systems that have kept me interested in.
Oh, what a shock! This is surprising.
I know. Who would have thought?
Yeah. Well, I mean, talking about you doing a lot of mythic raiding, especially like during Legion. You also mentioned you did heroic. We would starting off with Garrosh. I believe that was MOP.
Yeah.
End of MOP. That's an interesting and quite fluid segue to the beginnings of Pyromancer on YouTube, because don't get fooled, people. I thought for the longest time Pyro, because again, I discovered Pyro somewhere in Legion, but I thought for the longest time he's a fire mage. Turns out, because it's Pyromancer, dude. I was thinking, what the fuck? What is it? We ask all, because it's interesting because both you and Akalon play Warlock. What is it about it? Why Warlock all this time? Even on your stream, I saw you a couple of times still playing Warlock. What is it, man? What is it about it?
I think that there's like two reasons for me. I think there's three reasons. One, with 3 DPS specs is Warlock. One of them is pretty much always good. And historically, up until they reworked Demonology, I would play. I would play all 3. So for me, it was just switch between whatever at whatever time, and I always enjoyed playing Warlock. I actually started as a rogue, and then I made a Death Knight, and then I made a Warlock. So it went from like edgiest. so
we need more edge up in this room. Come on.
I actually started playing a Warlock because, to be honest, in patch 5.2 they were broken as fuck. And can I swear on here? Is that cool?
Oh yeah. Don't worry about it, man. Okay. It's all good.
Okay.
Go wild.
They were really broken, and it looked like a lot of fun to play. And it was a lot of fun to play. And I just fell in love with it. I think that the specs were unique and diverse, and the play styles of them felt at that time unique and diverse and powerful. And then there's like the later on, like kind of falling in love with the lore implications of being a warlock and having those ties into the Burning Legion and manipulation of demons and all that was really interesting for me. So learning about like the Fel and wielding these chaotic magics in the game universe just made it even more interesting from that perspective. So.
Dude, I gotta say, you're one of the most articulate guests we had over here. Jesus Christ, man! How much WoW do you read, man? Is it only WoW that you read, or what the fuck?
Like it's mostly WoW. Like I don't really like to read a lot of books, honestly.
Well, there you go.
And even a lot of the WoW books that I haven't read. To be honest, it's a lot of literature. It's thousands and thousands of pages, and it takes a long time to get through it, and it takes a lot of energy to try to remember it and recollect it all later. So
fucking A. Hey Flame, you're kind of quiet over there. You have something to say, fool?
No, I was about to ask, because I know Pyro's first video was the demonology guide, right? Back in WoD. And I'm a big Warlock fan as well. I can definitely see the ties, and I get the Pyromancer Flame thing. I get that as well. Why aren't you a fire mage? It's like, I don't know, man.
I've always been a Destruction Warlock as my main. Like I'll play Affliction and I'll play Demo, but Destruction is you just sling fire and chaos. So, Pyromancer. I thought it sounded cool. That's all.
Oh yeah, definitely. I always think of a fire mage. I'm sorry, I'm a simpleton.
No. Yeah, most people do. I'd say most people do.
And on the topic, what do you think of Warlock lore going into Shadowlands?
I'm a little bit, as far as like Warlock lore inherently, I'm a little bit, I haven't really thought about that, I guess, that much. I think that given that Blizzard has said that Zandalari can't be Warlocks, even though there's a Zandalari Warlock NPC that exists in the game, and even though at BlizzCon, when they first announced Zandalari Warlock, Zandalari, it showed on the screen that Zandalari were going to be able to be Warlocks, but I'm not salty about it at all, okay? It's not that big of a deal, but you know.
All right.
Blizzard does say that if you don't come into contact with the Burning Legion, you can't be a warlock, which just suck my balls. Okay, he's like, let me play as Andalari warlock. I don't know. As far as like the lore of it goes, I think that it could be interesting if we see more stuff about demons in the Shadowlands, which I think we probably will. Then we could have some interesting stuff come to light there. I think obviously with Sired and Athreus and the speculation about Dreadlords, we could see some more stuff.
Ooh, that's a juicy bit. This is just to play off on what you just said, because this is something that I have a pretty adamant stand against, and maybe you can clear it up for me, because it seems like Blizzard can make anything make sense if they want to try hard enough. So for me, for instance, I'm a little bit more old-fashioned. I think paladins were supposed to be humans, and let's say blood elves, because blood elves were also priests.
What do you mean, man? Didn't you saw the holy cows? What the fuck?
And that's what I'm about to say, because I was really into WoW, and then when Cataclysm came up and it was like, oh, Taurens can be paladins now, Sunwalkers, dwarves can be Shaman. I was like, man, that doesn't make a lot of sense. What is this? And that kind of threw me off a little bit. And then we know we have Vulpera now, and everybody can be a DK today. And when I see Panda DKs or Vulpera DKs, I just want to, I feel a little bile coming back into my mouth. But I get the Warlock bit. But what do you feel about, from a lore perspective, clearly, what do you feel about Blizzard's clear intention of homogenizing every spec of every class? Oh, you want to play a druid as a troll? Yeah, you can be that. I mean, I guess it kind of makes sense for trolls, but I don't know about Tauren paladins. I don't know about that, man. I
think I get where you're coming from as far as like the classic fantasy setting, where like oftentimes, your paladins are specifically humans, and I mean, in the Warcraft universes, at least on Azeroth, that is really how that was introduced initially, was the humans coming into contact with the Naru, unbeknownst to them. They didn't even realize that that's what they were. They had no real solidified ground to stand on when it comes to that. As far as like Blizzard making it more like that, I mean, I think that there's value to both sides, right? Like, I think that it's really good to have the freedom to choose whatever class you want to be as whatever race. And I definitely can understand like the back end of it, of like, well, if the Draenei absolutely hated the Burning Legion, then why would Draenei be warlocks? Like, or, et cetera, whatever example you might want to come up with. And I get that. I think there's value to that. But at the same time, like, I think the freedom of being able to choose is important. I think it would be better, personally, if for maybe more unorthodox decisions, or maybe all of them, maybe Blizzard can implement some type of, I wasn't born a druid, I was born this commoner, this to be adventurer, but I journeyed to Hyjal and learned the ways of the druids, and like that's how I became a druid. Or like, I think that there's ways that you could implement the progression into becoming something, rather than just having to say like, this can now be this class, and we don't really have a great explanation for why, but you just can, and so cool, enjoy that. Yeah, so I think there's a balance to be had between flexibility and integrity.
That makes sense. Yeah, makes sense. I would love for them to do something like that. It would be something going forward for the questing and leveling experience for sure, which they pretty much revamped. But there's still time.
That's all the excuse I needed to swap from Blood Elf to Tauren.
Don't do it, man. I won't play with you anymore. That's it. That's what I draw the fucking line. Okay, don't give me that. Well, that's pretty cool. Pyro. Obviously, we can talk about WoW, but like for like literal days, it happens all the time with all of our guests. I just have like another curiosity. Please. From your point of view. Like, I'm pretty sure you have been aware and looking, more or less on what's been happening with the story of Shadowlands, with Bolvar and Sylvanas and the Jailer. All right, from your experience now, do you think this is overall a good direction, and should we expect something really juicy to unfold at the end of this expansion? What are your thoughts on this?
I mean, I've been championing going to the Shadowlands for like 2 expansions now. I was convinced at the end of Legion that we were going to go to the Shadowlands, and when we didn't go there, when BFA rolled around, I became even more convinced that like there's no other direction that we will go. Like, it has to be towards the Shadowlands. That's something I've always championed, I guess. So for me, Shadowlands holds a lot of potential. I mean, we have explored a fair amount with like nature and life, and the Fel and the Burning Legion has been an instrumental piece of the entire story.
Yeah.
The Arcane and the Titans and Order is something that we've got a lot into. The elements, Decay and Spirit. We've learned a fair bit about the light and the void, although there's more to be explored there. But one of the ones that we've never really like dipped our toes in real deep was death. And so I think that there could be some pretty huge revelations that come at the end of Shadowlands. I can't even imagine, like, I mean, I guess I have a couple ideas of like what 9.1 would be, but then we have to think about 9.2 and 9.3. Like, there's so much that could happen between now and the end. It's really hard to try to say, you know, what we could get out of it. But do I think it's a good direction? It depends on how they execute it. I think that if it's done well, that yeah, it could be awesome. It depends on who the jailer really is and what he was before all of this, and what did the Maw used to be, and how is this machine supposed to be working, and what did the jailer do? So I think that there's a really interesting story, like kind of outline that's been set up that I think is grabbing people's attention.
Yep.
And maybe shifting the attention away from Sylvanas a little bit, which is probably a good thing. So as long as they execute properly, I think it could be really cool. Whatever they do with Kel'Thuzad, I'm not sure. I haven't played the beta. Whatever they do with Denathrius and the Jailer and Sylvanas, it could be really sick. It could be really sick, but it just depends. It could also be 8.3. So.
No. Don't say that. Don't say that.
Jesus.
I hope they learn. Well, at least in terms of, okay, the final moment, I'm pretty sure that they did say that 8.3 was sort of an experiment. Like, I think Ian said that, hey, this is the first endgame cinematic where your character is involved directly, blah, 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 blah. Okay, we all know it was kind of a... But nevertheless, you mentioned something, and I have to bring this up. You did not see or maybe you did, the pre-patch cinematic?
I've not. No, I have not watched that yet.
Okay, you don't want to be spoiled, I'm guessing.
I would prefer not to be.
Okay, all right, moving on. Moving along.
Right.
Fuck that question now.
Sorry about that.
It just popped up because he mentioned Sylvanas, so I was like, oh, okay. All right.
I've seen like 2 still shots of it. Like, I've seen where you have Bolvar kind of being carried.
Yeah.
And then I saw where Sylvanas had the helmet.
So we're not gonna spoil the cinematic a little bit, and I'm sure you're going to notice 10 things I didn't notice in it, and that's perfectly fine.
Don't say anything about it, man.
Not necessarily.
Yeah, all right. It's just for me, because I know the story that you played through in beta wasn't anything new, so I wasn't. He
didn't play in the beta.
I haven't even played. So beta is a whole different thing that we can get into, and I'm a little pissed off about it. But yeah, we can talk about the whole beta process, because that's a crock of bullshit. Dude.
What's up with the beta, Pyro? What's wrong? What's...
So, listen, I thought that maybe because somebody else leaked the picture of the jailer on Twitter, and because I perpetuated that in my community and brought a lot of attention to it, I thought maybe I was getting screwed on beta because they didn't want me playing the game. Okay, that's what I thought. Another part of me was like, you know what, dude, it's kind of like a victim mindset to kind of have. So whatever, fuck it. If I get the beta, I get the beta. If I don't, I don't. Like, whatever. But it's upsetting to not have it. So I waited all this time. I'm seeing all these other content creators getting beta. I'm not getting beta.
Yeah.
I see content creators start giving out keys, or not keys, but like access for beta.
Yeah.
I still don't have beta.
I know.
So just like I had to in BFA, I had to try to win beta access from another content creator, which just sucks so bad, because it's like, I should have beta access that I'm giving away. Like, and I don't even have beta yet. Like, what the fuck is this?
100%, man. I don't know.
We agree.
Not to sound like entitled or anything, but that just sucks. Like, it doesn't make you feel like appreciated as a content creator for what I try to do with the game. But anyway, I put in a ticket because I went to my BattleNet, and I had like 3 or 4 PTR accounts that I had created by accident over time. And I contacted customer support because I was concerned that my beta PTR accounts were conflicting with my ability to get beta. I didn't know why, but I just had this weird hunch that that's what was happening. So I contact customer support. They're like, it doesn't affect it. Don't worry about it. Leave your PTR accounts there. And if you don't play them, you just don't play them. Just pretend like they're not there. I'm like, okay, like if you say so, that's cool. Well, from a content creator, I ended up winning beta access. So all these accounts that won from this guy got flagged, except mine. I didn't get beta. So now I'm like really fucking mad because I'm like, I won access and I still am not being given access. So I'm like, what is going on? So he reaches out to his contact, and this is like a month and a half after I sent in that first ticket. He reaches out to his Blizzard contact, and the Blizzard contact tells him that I have too many PTR licenses. PTR accounts.
I know.
No way.
I know because I had the same issue with our folks. Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Shouldn't there be a disclaimer? Shouldn't there be like a note on the fucking opt-in page where it's like, if you have too many PTR accounts, by the way, you won't get beta. But you know why Blizzard wouldn't put that? Because they don't want people contacting customer support to have PTR accounts removed. That's what it is. And that just pissed me the fuck off because it's like for 2 months now, 2.5 months, I've been trying to get beta. And it turns out the reason why I didn't have it, I was exactly right when I contacted customer support the first time and they told me it didn't matter. So I was fucking livid, dude. And since then, honestly, I got beta. I did have my account flagged, and I logged in, and I got to the main screen where you see the Ice Crown Citadel.
Yeah.
And I heard the music start playing, and the music played for like 15 seconds. And I just Alt F4'd. Because I just can't.
Protest.
I can't do it, dude. I just can't bring myself to play it. Not because I'm mad, but because since we're so close now, I just don't think I can do it. So part of me feels bad because I bitched and complained the whole time, which I think was justified, to be fair.
It was, man. It was.
And then now I won't even play beta because I don't want to spoil it. So yeah, that was my beta experience.
Oh man, I feel super sorry, man. I know about the PTR thing because we did have some giveaways too, and it was the same thing. Like when people reached out to us and say, "Hey man, I won, but I didn't get beta," we already knew from our point of contact that hey, make sure that the people do not have too many PTR licenses on their accounts. That was like a thing. So when you started talking about the PTR licenses, I know where this is going. It's like, fuck. And this is probably the reason you didn't get invited, not invited, because all accounts are flagged. And from what I know, okay, there is content creators that are getting flagged among the first waves, but there's also what's the term? Activity historical accounts or something like that do get flagged. So not content creators or anything, right? Like people that have a lot of activity, especially in recent years. You know, people think that I'm playing the game since vanilla, but I didn't play in BFA, I didn't get flagged. But guess what? They're looking for recent
activity. Not playing
the game. Yeah. So yeah, but man, it was shit. It was shit what happened, and I'm sorry. The truth is, man, there's not too much to go into story because I think you're well aware a lot of the shit that's on the beta is like double, triple encrypted, especially cinematics, and the ones that are the ones that are in game, the small ones and stuff, they don't really tell that much. There's a couple of things, but we didn't
the journal, man. What about the journal?
Well, okay, yeah. I said there's a couple of things, okay, but not.
Well, even beyond that, like for me, like just to put it this way, I've been really apathetic towards WoW. Like I have not been wanting to play WoW. I've been playing other games or just not playing anything at all. And for me, like Shadowlands has to be amazing. Like Shadowlands has to knock it out of the park because if it doesn't, as much as I love the story and WoW, like I don't think that I'll continue interest in it if the game can't pull me back in because I've had such a shit experience throughout BFA that Shadowlands for me is like the last chance. And so for me, I didn't even want to play beta because even just the music and the atmosphere and like walking over the hill and seeing Bastion for the first time, like it's just, I need that experience to be as fresh as possible. Otherwise, I think it's just going to be spoiled for me and I'm just going to burn out.
Well, so. I know exactly where you're coming from, my man. And I think what you just said is something that a lot of people felt and feel due to BFA mostly. But at the same time, I can strongly say that I don't know if it's going to knock it out the park, but it's definitely going to be a way better experience than BFA. That I can say.
At least mechanically speaking.
Yeah, man. There's a lot of things that come back to what we used to love about this game. If we're talking mechanically, right? So of course, there's all this nonsense about the conduits, covenant abilities, all of that. That's fine. Okay, if you want to go back into mythic raiding, then yeah, that may be a problem more or less at some point. But if not, if you just want to enjoy the game for what it is, a bit more casual, much more into the story, I think we're gonna have a blast. So that's my 2 cents in it. And again, it's not based on. Because we criticize the fuck out of BFA. I mean, we not going into being all, oh my god, BFA is good. It had its good parts, but man, didn't have its bad parts.
8.3.
And it had 8.3 pretty much something else. Like 8.3 happened.
Yeah.
8.2 happened. At least I had hope. Okay, man. Okay, they're doing something. We're going in a better direction. This is it. Okay, a little bit too much gating, but we're getting somewhere. All right,
we're getting there. And then the Zoth at the end, the cinematic.
Yeah, I mean the build up, right? It was like, oh shit, oh yeah, this is the WoW we love, baby. Let's go. And then 8.3 happened.
I hope that it continues in that direction because I mean, I kind of didn't give that much of a shit about like Mechagon and all that. I mean, it was cool. Don't get me wrong. Like, I'm glad that they added it, and I'm glad people enjoyed it, but. Then the Ashara thing was hype to finally fight Queen Ashara. Like, after so long of her being gone 10,000 years, dude, it's like
hell yeah, man.
That was really exciting. So
I enjoyed Najatar the hell, man. The first time I walked in, all the music, all the work that the artistical department did, sound.
The ship like falling off the edge.
Oh yeah, that was so cool,
man.
Like,
holy shit.
Did you hear the whale sounds?
Oh yeah,
Jesus
the first time you went
Christ.
in there, you held those whales in the background.
That was
so
fucking
cool.
amazing.
Yeah, it's definitely atmospheric. And this is what we love about the game in a lot of parts. And it happens. It happens a lot in Shadowlands.
You can definitely tell that there's still a lot of passion being put into the game. And usually we don't talk too much about WoW, but I do have one more question before.
It's hard with Pyro, man.
That's all right.
Before we actually go into a little bit less WoW talk, but I do have one question because I've been watching your videos a lot. I think. Aside from the last couple of months, which have been really busy for me, I think I've watched every lore video from Legion now, and I just love them. Obviously, they're pretty cool, and I love all the speculation because I think the story, no sweat, my man. The story that you speculate is way better than what they're putting out. At least from from my perspective, and that's what I want to ask you. Is like, man, how do you feel when all of your speculations that some of them seem to be super on point, don't come to be true? Like. For me, certain things that they did with the BFA story felt like they just didn't have it in them to pull off the story, or they didn't want to risk it, or they just went with a casual more approach, or maybe they're still like in a song, it's like, oh, you still don't know what's happening with Sylvanas. But how do you feel when you feel like, oh, I'm dead on this shit, but then it turns out, oh, like it's a totally different thing, and it's a little bit anticlimactic?
It's kind of disappointing, man. I think there's there's ideas that come to fruition and you put them out there and I always try to say things based on some kind of evidence, whether it's a dialogue or I don't know, like something out of a book or something thematically that I've noticed, but I definitely think that there are some parts where what I came up with was a lot cooler than what Blizzard did.
Oh yeah.
And it's like part of that feels good because it's like, well, I don't know, maybe I should write a story. Like maybe it's something that I would be good at. But at the same time, it's like, damn, dude, it just sucks so bad because it's like Blizzard could do so much more. It could be so much more intricate and there could be a more deep meaning and you could really tie, like with what exists in the game right now, you could tie a cohesive story from the very beginning to the end. Like as of right now, I could write World of Warcraft to its end, and it would be fucking awesome. But I don't, obviously I don't think Blizzard's gonna do that, and it just sucks because it's just, I think for the people that stay around for the story, I hope that there comes a time where this huge story that's been told to us does come to an end. Like I think every good story, every story has an end to it.
Sure.
And an end can be, transitioned into a new beginning, right? And that's thematically something that's spoken about in the Shadowlands. And I think that the end of what we know now can lead into a grander storyline that includes characters and gods that we already know about. So it's just, I don't know. I wish I could just, and I don't know, part of me still thinks that it could be true. Like that's what's so fucked up is that even though there's no real reason to like really believe it and put stock in it that Blizzard would do it, I still have this weird underlying feeling that I caught on to something that is happening there very subtly that is going to be expanded upon as time passes. Because I think if that weren't true, then I think some of my speculations and some of my ideas, like they don't make sense in the grand scheme of the game. Like some of the things that I came to the conclusion of only make sense when it's put into like the idea of this actually linear storyline that's happened. So it's a confusing, conflicted feeling type of thing for me. And I just hope that whatever Blizzard does, I just hope that it does justice to like the history of the story and holds integrity to that. So because it could be so cool. It could be so fucking awesome. And if it's not, it's just gonna, I don't know, it'll be a shame.
It's a big shame. It does have, the world has a lot of potential, and it's like working with so many elements, so much symbolism and a lot of stuff like that.
Hold on, because he put some point. I want to raise this right now.
Right.
Okay, because he mentioned something. All right, Pyro, here's the challenge for your ass. How would you end the World of Warcraft story? How would the end look like? I know you're tempted to say a lot of Shadowlands stuff, but the actual end, okay? Like the story ends in this way, and then we move on to World of Warcraft 2, brand new story. How would the World of Warcraft story totally end?
Before World of Warcraft 2, or like whatever that would be called.
Yeah, but before it and maybe going into it or something.
I think that it would be really cool if Blizzard. Okay, I don't know in what order this would happen. We go through the Shadowlands, we end up siding with death because mortals are inherently servants of death, I believe, to an extent. They're born of it. They're mortal. It's all inherently tied together.
True.
We learn that there was a connection. We already kind of know that there's a connection between death and the Jailer and the Lich King and Sargeras and the Burning Legion.
Yep.
And we have this revelation moment where we realize that the forces that we've been fighting for and the ones that we were trying to save and protect to try to keep our world safe, like the Titans, were actually the ones committing heinous crimes throughout the universe, and Sargeras was truly the one that stood against them and decided to use dark and chaotic forces to combat them because it's a domain that he better understands. I would like for us to kind of, and this is like very like Shadowbringers-esque, like Final Fantasy type shit.
Go for it.
But I'd really like for us to side with those forces of darkness and maybe take that chaotic and that chaotic standpoint or that darker standpoint, maybe with a deeper understanding of the light, maybe mixed in with it or whatever that might look like. And I would just like to find out that this world really was imprisoned by the Titans and that Azeroth was imprisoned by the Titans. And I would like for, I would essentially, I want the end game for us to be basically becoming darkness and hunting down the Titans, like maybe one by one. Like maybe
that's
we
so cool.
We seek out Khazgaroth on his world, and we have to fight like a god of like forging and flame and earth. And I don't know. I just think that'd be cool. I think it'd be sweet if they did like a high res cinematic of the Titan Pantheon, like at the seat of the Pantheon, where like dude. they all like siphon the fucking life right out of Sargeras and like leave him as like the smoldering husk, like twitching on his fucking throne right there. Like it's just something completely heinous, or like Sargeras like broiling with fucking rage and like incinerating them all, but like A&R gets away. I don't know. I I think that you can take Azeroth as what she is, the most powerful entity in the universe, the most powerful Titan that we're aware of, potentially creation itself, and basically make her like, this is what the Titans wanted, this is what Sargeras didn't want them to have, and that's why this conflict exists. So ultimately, we will shift from kind of fighting for the Titans and fighting for life and for nature to realizing that those things are actually doing really, really bad things for selfish reasons. So that's, I don't know, that's what I would like. That's not as articulate as I would like for it to be, but
you know, this is a moment where like, here's my money. It's just like, Jesus, this is like so much better than it's I would believe that it would be the perfect way to end it all. It's like, we finally know what the fuck is up. We hunt down the Titans, we kill them all, and then we move to the next chapter. Something, maybe that means more expansions or something. I don't know. But this really looks like a really cool closure, man. Jesus Christ. I mean, the whole flip up.
Yeah. It would if it was done right, it could be it could be done very well. And I don't know. I think as much as I appreciate the love for World of Warcraft, like I said before, I think that stories have to end, and like I know that there's like maybe a thirst for like a continuation forever. But for me, I think that I would be content with like them ending it and just being like, this is the story, this is what happened, this is what we told, and it is what it is. Like,
sure,
creation was in danger, and we were the guardians of creation, and Sargeras was trying to save creation, and the Titans were trying to hold creation and take its power. And you know, we ended up realizing at the last moment, and I don't know, maybe we lose. Like maybe the story isn't maybe the story isn't us winning. Maybe the lesson at the end of the day is life taking over the entire world, and the holy light coming and putting its presence on the world, and maybe that's it. Maybe we're taught a lesson of just because it looks good and it seems good doesn't mean that it is good.
It is, yeah, that's true indeed. But I will retain my vote. I would love for us to, like, you know, side with that they understand even better the death forces and finally realize what it was all about, and having a final triumph, because at the end of the day, we're like champions, we're like legends, heroes of Azeroth. Why the fuck we would not be the savers of the whole goddamn creation? Like my little level 60 paladin and rogue going, yeah, we saved the fucking creation. Oh,
yeah, I think that'd be awesome. I think, you know, there's got to be something about Azeroth that makes her special. There's got to be something about us that ties us to Azeroth that makes us special. And there's a reason why she's considered the most powerful Titan. There's a reason why Sargeras was really concerned with the plans of the Void Lords and what they were going to do to creation. And there's a reason why he came to the conclusion, before ever establishing the Burning Legion or breaking open Mardoom, there's a reason why Sargeras came to the conclusion that the universe should be purged in flame. You know, it makes you wonder. There's a lot of stuff in Chronicle that talks about how Sargeras is supposed to be and what apparently happened to him. And everything I see in the game, and when I saw him in that cinematic, it kind of made me think twice, because it doesn't seem like it's true. So we'll find out.
Oh yeah.
What do I say? The story is definitely way better written this way than something super predictable. It's like, oh, Sylvanas was bad all along, let's just fight her in a raid boss.
Oh god.
But people did ask for I mean, people clearly want a WoW 2.0. Been asking for this for like years, and it always felt like, story-wise, if there was ever a time that they could kind of reset the game, get rid of all this bullshit, unlimited level scaling that they keep having to squish, or numbers that they have to squish, they could do a reset with Shadowlands. That would make sense, because we die maybe eventually and then get back to the world, because, you know, the continuation and everything. But
there's a force in WoW. There's a method that the Titans use to literally reset entire worlds. Like, there's something in the game that's a reset button. Like, Reorigination is basically the perfect opportunity. Like, if our world really was reoriginated, like, that would be the way to wipe the slate clean and be like, okay,
no Paris.
Everything you knew is gone, and all of it, and it's all scorched earth. And, you know, from those ashes, a new beginning will form, and new life will rise, and that's how they could continue it. Like, Sargeras could win. You know, what if the sword doesn't get pulled out? What if a connection between Sargeras and the sword is reestablished and the sword ignites with flame that fucking roils across the entire surface of Azeroth, and like everything is incinerated under this like divine flame.
There's that Pyromancer mind going off again. Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like
there he goes. There he goes. Yeah, that would be cool.
I want some Pyromancer laughs and smiles when he's talking about purging everything with fire.
Dude. Like in Antorus, the Burning Throne, there are flame minions right before you get to the Coven of Shavara, and right after you fight the Coven of Shavara and Varamathras that have a spell called Flames of Reorigination, and it's like,
hello.
dude,
hello.
If it's not clear what Sargeras was trying to do now, I don't know what is. So anyway, yeah. So there's a lot that they can do with it, and a reset button exists. It is a thing. The ripcord lore-wise already exists.
Yeah, so. And it's much more clearer than the other ripcords we know about.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, man, this has been such a joy so far, man. It's lovely. Like you can see how like if you just throw an idea there, how Pyro's mind just goes, man. It's like, you know, it's like the fucking, you know, full tank loaded engine going on all these types of idea. Hey, Steve the News, man, if you're watching this, get your boy on some you know,
please,
writing text.
Dude.
Come on, man. You know,
I would love to interview Steve the Newser, dude. That'd be amazing.
Dude,
that would be amazing.
Did you ever apply in your life for a position at Blizzard?
No.
Why not?
Because I think that there's a difference between cool ideas and articulating a story in your head and then actually having like developmental experience when it comes to like a story. And I think working within a company is probably a little different than how I'm able to just free flow it. And I think that it would, maybe I'd end up being miserable half the time because they'd be like, no, we're going to do this. And I'd be like, God damn it, dude. Can we not do that? Like, can we do, I don't know. But so
you'd be the next Chris Metzen, man. Because I know he was like that. He was like, man, this is the story.
I don't think I'm ultimately I'm qualified. And I don't think that I would want to live in any of the places that I would have to live to make that happen. But you know, who knows? Maybe that's not true. I don't know.
I mean,
no, I've never applied.
It's interesting because I think at some point Steve the Newser or somebody from his team posted some sort of contest on stories, and I think it was more for questing rather than the big story, and they asked for, you know, public applications. Hey guys, if you have a cool story you want to put in the game, submit here. We'll make a small contest out of it. I think that's pretty cool. That shows that they actually, I mean, sure, you're right. Within the corporate world, there's obviously much more structure into it, right? We're just freestyling now. It's all fun and games. But when it comes to like when it comes to the whiteboards and the PowerPoints and slides and shit, right? Everything has to be structured, has to make sense. But come on, Pyro, you saw the story in BFA. Do you think they had that many fucking PowerPoint slides? It felt, you know, a little bit more, you know, smash the weasel, you know, this pop. This pop.
It felt like at the end of 8.1 is like, okay, 8.2 is gonna, what are we doing? Brainstorm quick.
Yeah. No, I think, I mean, the first raid and all that usually feels a little detached. I think Blizzard made a bit of a mistake in trying to integrate the faction storyline with such a lore heavy or old god heavy like lore progression. Like it's just interesting because you have the factions here. Excuse me, you have the factions here, you have the old gods here, and then you have Sylvanas kind of in the middle. And Sylvanas was made the focal point, and it drew attention away in some aspects from the faction war. Like sometimes the representations that we got of that were not very good because some of that was shifted towards Sylvanas. And then same thing happened with the old gods where, you know, we have this very important storyline going on there, and that's often shifted away towards Sylvanas as well. And so it felt like they tried to take some really crazy important stuff, like a Titan facility, a huge faction war. They try to take Sylvanas' story progression. They're trying to take the development leading into Shadowlands. They're trying to take the old gods, Queen Ashara. Like they just took too much stuff and tried to cram it all into one thing. And it wasn't cohesive enough for people. I mean, for fuck's sake, they brought in Illunin the Night Warrior. Like, what the fuck? You could do an entire patch just about that. Like, and so we took all of these huge lore things and tried to cram them. And I just don't think it came out in a cohesive manner. And that just really fucking sucks because there's so much more they could have done. And to finish this thought, I think that one of the biggest issues is they took a lot of the intricacies of Sylvanas' thought process and where her head is at, and how Elune actually pacified Saurfang and stopped him from bringing down the axe on Malfurion's head. That's not represented in game at all. So you have to go to these external lore sources, whether it's short stories, comics, whether it's an actual book. To learn this stuff. And it just makes for a very incohesive experience for the average player who's not going to do that stuff. And so this is why Blizzard has developed this perception that they're wishy-washy and all over the place, and they don't have any streamlined progression for the storyline because they split it up into multifaceted media, and people just don't go into that stuff. They don't have time, you know. I don't even have time to read all the fucking books that I own, and that's my thing. Like, so if you really want to understand the intricacies, Blizzard has just not really done a great job to make sure that can happen for the average player. It just isn't really a thing.
I think they admit it so much. I know an interview with Steve. I don't know with what outlet it was. He did say that one of the biggest regrets or mistakes he believes they did story wise was this, exactly what you said. That the story wasn't cohesive enough. They went in too many places. All right, Pyro. But enough about the World of Warcraft and the lore and all of that. It's a passionate subject, of course. But you did mention early on in the podcast that your day job is a computer salesman. How long did you do this? I mean, okay, let me ask you like this. What were all of the jobs you had so far, and why not dedicate yourself fully to content creation? What's the deal there?
Gotcha. Okay, good question. So all the jobs that I've had. So I started working night stock at a Safeway, which is like just a grocery store here, and that sucked. I worked from like 11 p.m. till like 8 a.m. Sometimes till like 11 a.m. like 12-hour shifts, and it was just overnight, and it sucked. But it was a first job, and I just needed to get some of that going. So then I also I worked at a call center. Doing like pre-sales stuff for a company. Then I worked at a US cellular store selling phones. I hated that.
Why? What was that? Because I used to do that.
It's like hourly, but then you get the commission thing, and I was just in a really low income area, and it was just really hard to get people approved on their credit to like get phones and stuff, and I always felt bad telling them that they couldn't get it, and it just sucked because they so I just didn't really like that. And then I actually did try I actually did devote an entire year to content creation, where I quit my job and I was just streaming like 4 or 5 days a week, and I'd make like a video or two a week. And I did that for like a year. But at the time I was just dealing with a lot of personal issues. And I think that working by myself and just sitting on a computer all day and not really having social interaction, like I'm a really social person generally.
It does show.
Thanks. It took a pretty bad toll on my mental health. And I just got really depressed, and I got really anxious, and I got into a really dark place, and I just decided, like, as much as I love making content to go on the internet, and I love playing video games and doing this stuff, like, I'm really not fulfilled doing this. I'm not happy. And so I got a job at an electronics store, and now I sell computers, and I'm really, really good at it. So I did try the content creation for a little bit, but ultimately, I don't think I was in a good place in my life to try to pursue that. And who knows, like, maybe there will come a time again where, and maybe it's in Shadowlands, I don't know, where maybe I do, quit my job, and maybe I do go back to doing content full time, since I've learned so much and I have nicer equipment now, and I have a wonderful, supportive girlfriend, and I'm in a different place in my life. Maybe I want to do like photography for people, and I'd like to maybe get into videography. So maybe it's something that I shift back into, but just for me at the time, it just wasn't a healthy choice. And so I just decided not to do it. And it's so weird, because a lot of people wish that they could do it. And here I am, I have the capacity and ability to do it. But I just I have to recognize that for me, it just isn't the right decision. So at least it wasn't. So.
That's pretty mature thinking over there, Pyro. I was like, my thoughts on this were like, okay, so you tried it for a year, but that was like paired up with maybe not the best time in your personal life, dealing with, you know, personal issues. And obviously when you're working, you know, from home, staying all day at your PC, paired up with a situation like that, not being in the best place, you know, mentally, you know, spiritually, whatever, that could really get you into some nasty thoughts, and you know, I can totally relate. But now you, at least from what we can see, you know, just talking up until this point, now you seem a bit more better, much better. You obviously have the, you know, the platform already laid out for you, right? You have you have your subscribers, you have your fan base, you have your you know, upgraded equipment, your quality has improved progressively. Would you consider it like, you know, would you consider it 100% maybe if things line up? Or are you still afraid of, I mean, I don't want to get into that place again? How do you feel like emotionally when it comes to this?
I think that there are I feel like there's a passion that exists, right? But I think I also have to be aware of the possibility that maybe I fall out of love with WoW. Maybe the game doesn't continue on how I would want it to, and maybe I just don't even want to make videos at some point. And you know, whether it's 2 years or 5 years or 10 years from now, I think inevitably, unless I were to shift my content to something else, which I've done, that I just would end up not wanting to do it at some point. And it's kind of shitty, but you know, I like, well, it's not shitty, but I like my job a lot. I like the people I get to work with, and I get great insurance through my job, and that's something that I'm not going to have if I quit. You know, the insurance is a huge factor. The guaranteed sustained paycheck every 2 weeks is huge. You know, the social interaction for me is huge, and those are just things that I am definitely afraid that I'll lose if I don't. If I did quit my job, you know, but I also think that's looking at it in one way, right? Like that's more of the pessimistic mindset, not necessarily pessimistic, but just cautious. You know, I think there's a part of me that wants to have that freedom of expression in a way that is more time consuming for me, and get into those hobbies of photography and cinematography and videography more. But I just have to try to make whatever decision is going to be most responsible for me. And, you know, right now, you know, if I were to quit, you know, I got the insurance, and then I got to pay a fuckload in taxes when you're self-employed. Probably not, unless I became like miserable at my current job.
Becoming miserable or not loving your current job and thinking about pursuing some dreams you have is always a strong, you know, motivator, strong incentive to like really go out and risk it, because it's all about risk when you think about it, right? Sure. I think you value a lot, you know, having, you know, the safe spot, right, being secure, you know, with the paycheck every 2 weeks and so on. But like, is like videography and photography your biggest dream, something you always wanted to do? Because I think that paired up with content creation can actually, you know, cover this social thing, you know, that might miss out. Because photography, you do work with people, right? You go out, you shoot things and stuff like that. I'm thinking, you know, in this, but is it your main dream? Like looking towards the future, my man, like 10 years from now, 15 years. Is this like what you want to do forever and ever?
I do think that there's a passion that exists there, right? Like I'm very into computers. Can you hear that?
Yeah, we're good.
No background noise. We just hear you.
Oh, just you? Yeah, we're not hearing any background noise.
Okay.
You got a good one.
I'm really into computers. I'm really into photo editing. Video editing is a lot of fun. Photography is a lot of fun. There's so much to know about it, and so many techniques, and that can be a very social thing. So yeah, maybe for me that would be a great social outlet, while I do kind of get to pursue a passion. You know, I'm really good at selling things, but I'm passionate about my job, and I'm proud of how I perform with my job, but it's not my dream, right? Like it's not, it's definitely not like my passion. I think that being able to capture moments of importance with other people is a really special thing, and it's something that I would like to get into more. It's a very competitive thing, but then again, so is YouTube. So if I can do that, I feel like I can do the other things. And I don't know. I mean, I think you're right. I think that there's a time where you kind of have to look at it like, do I want the kind of maybe the more boring and ordinary stable, or would I like to take that risk and maybe just jump head first in there and see what I can do with it? Yeah, I mean, I think that's always a question that has to exist in the back of my head. But it's just, I think it just all has to do with timing. And it just, especially right now with how things are, it wouldn't be good timing to pursue. But would I like to eventually? Yeah, I mean, maybe I would. I mean, I think it is something that I'd like to pursue, but it just depends on, does the timing of other events in my life around it, does that support it?
Sometimes things can align and point you to the right direction, and you'd be surprised how productive selling skills are even outside and actual sales.
Trust me, I know.
There you go. And I think at the end of the day, it's all about following your passion, man. Just live your life so you don't regret what you do or what you didn't do, and whatever that takes you, and just do what you like, and
It's a beautiful thing, man. And the thing is that this is why it's so intriguing for me, hearing you have this position towards, going full in content creation or not, because, as opposed to maybe other people that are, way more, way less popular, to say, or have a less of a size when it comes to an audience, you already have that. So the risk factor for you, like going full time isn't as high, right?
It was before, but not so much now, right? Like I guess there isn't necessarily. I guess for me, the risk is less about developing a fan base and a following, and it's more about like, is my mental state in my home life going to suffer, and how is that going to be affected by it? And that's more my concern. But you're definitely right, and it's weird, and I almost sort of feel bad because it's like,
no, don't feel bad. No, don't feel bad.
Well, no, I have it like laying there in front of me. I can grab it whenever I want to, and there's a lot of people that would kill for that. But then again, I shouldn't necessarily feel bad just because I'm in that position. So
no. I think it's perfectly fine, man. And balancing personal life and professional life comes into play whenever you're trying to pursue a goal, and that's actually very important, because when you don't do, you get fucked up.
Yeah, Flame knows, and I'm pretty sure Pyro knows as well when he went full on doing the things. It's man, this is a lot of people don't know this part of doing videos on YouTube and streaming and stuff. Man, as fun as it sounds on the surface, it can really take a toll on your mental health, man, because
and even your physical health too, dude.
Oh well, yeah, that's implied, I believe.
Yeah.
It's implied because see, the thing is, and I'm pretty sure Pyro had this as well, I think all of us have, like when you put out stuff that you create and you're putting yourself out live for people, if that event or a video, or I don't know, whatever you cooked up doesn't do well, or gets really, bad, even fucking bad comments, man, you say it doesn't affect you. You said, I'm a fucking stone gargoyle, this will not just go through me, but in time it will fuck you up. And
you start to take it personally. You see it more as an evaluation of who you are and your creativity than the actual objective content.
Yeah, I think that's a risk with all art and all creative content.
True.
Doesn't have to be necessarily with
because it's your babies, man. You put your babies out there.
That can happen with photography. Like there's been times where I've taken a picture for someone and I edit it and I'm like, that looks great, and then they get the picture and then I see them post it on their Facebook and it's like edited as shit. They like added. It's like, hey, cool, do whatever you want.
They added like, cat ears filters.
Yeah, that's something I will think about. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's a good point.
That's what it is, man. I mean, a lot of people who listen to the podcast or watch it on YouTube are thinking of starting YouTube or starting a Twitch or both or whatever. Hey, man, it's important to know, at least now you know another perspective when it comes to this shit from Pyro. Man, if you don't, if you're not good right now, like mentally, don't go into it just yet, because that will just accentuate the fucked up state you're in. And that's true for everybody. Everybody I talked to was more or less went through that, and it's not good.
Yeah. No. So not a place you want to be.
But hey, a place you do want to be is youtube.com/Pyromancer, twitch.tv/Pyromancer, and also go on his Twitter. Look there. I think we never did the plug so far, but it's
thanks, man.
If you wanna, I know Pyro wasn't as active as he used to be, but then again, he didn't have the beta. He was pissed off. We know the story. We talked through it. It's still worth it to go there. There's a lot of shit you can watch on his channel.
Of videos is crazy.
Oh, yeah, and I gotta say this. I told this to Hiro as well. For me, it's I see it as a compliment, my man. So I start off one of your videos. Usually I'm looking for the 20, 30 minute plus ones. I started off, in the bed on my phone, looking, then putting it down, and just fall asleep. Listen, dude. That's good watch time. That's fucking good analytics, dude.
It's hours and hours piled upon. Ooh, what's next from Pyro?
Yeah,
that is good analytics, dude.
Yeah, you gotta understand, man. Like, if it's a fresh video, something new, dude, like, that has my full attention. But usually I go back to other videos. It's like, what the fuck did Pyro say about Argus? Let's put this on again. And I look, and then start. It's one of the best ways. Like, I told this to Hiro as well. It's one of the best ways for me to go watch something, relax my mind, get into something really cool, and then just fall asleep like a baby.
That soothing narrator voice.
Dude, yeah.
I've done that with other content creators.
It's a truth that has to be told. A lot of the things that happen like this, and it's good because the video doesn't stop. It's good.
Yeah, just keeps going. And if there's ads, they'll play, dude.
Oh yeah.
no skipping ads.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, who cares? You're asleep. Just play all the ads. It's fine.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I always was happy when people were telling that stuff about our videos. It's like, man, I watched that and then I fell asleep. Hey, man, that's cool by me. Just do it
every
more
night.
Power to you.
Yeah.
It's good.
However you like to watch it, dude. That's cool.
It's beautiful, man. All right, dude. Sweet. So let me ask you, Pyro, moving towards the future. Obviously, you love your job. You love being super good at it, and it pays well. Obviously, what are you doing moving forward? Shadowlands pre-patch came around. Probably by December we'll have the expansion. Are you gonna start doing more content again on top of also doing your job? How do you look forward to things to come? I don't know, in the next 6 months or so.
So I'm planning to take a week off for a Shadowlands launch.
Oh yeah.
And I will probably stream 12 hours a day every day. So that's probably gonna happen. I definitely do plan to make more videos. I haven't made a video in 3 weeks. So I've been dealing with some personal issues that have occupied the last couple weeks, some things that I need to shift my attention a little bit more toward.
Sure.
And I've tried to pick up some other hobbies and just try to kind of diversify what I'm doing. Like, I'm learning to play guitar.
Yeah, I saw that was new with them, man.
Yeah, it's going all right so far, and I'm learning to just play the basic bar chords and everything. So
you're learning it by yourself? You're doing tutorials on YouTube, or do you have a teacher or something?
I have a guitar chord chart where I'm learning the chords off of paper, and then I'll watch a little bit of YouTube here or there to just learn how to better hold the strings and stuff. Right now, when you just start out, you gotta get calluses and stuff on your fingers.
Oh, yeah. I was going to ask what the fuck happened with your thumb. Now it's all clear.
Oh, well, this I cut that at work, but it doesn't. Yeah.
I could have just said man, it was fine.
Sure. My fingers feel kind of numb on the tips of them right now, just because the pressure that I put on them when I'm playing. But anyway, I'm trying to learn to do that. I'm trying to do more photography stuff. I'm trying to expand. I mean, I definitely do. I want to do more videos. It's just tough because on my days off, we're going into the holiday season, and working in retail, it's going to get busy.
Oh yeah.
So my days off, today was supposed to be completely off for me. I actually am supposed to work in 30 minutes. If I'm late, it's not a big deal. but you know, it's a balancing act, right? I'm trying to balance spending time with my girlfriend and my dog and friends and stuff like that with content creation. So I'm having a hard time balancing that, but over the next 6 months, I would like to start putting out more content. I think I'll have more things to talk about in Shadowlands. Like it won't surprise me if I have like a backlog of like 10 video ideas that I'm working with. Like right now I have like a couple ideas and only 1 or 2 of them are like completely original. There is one I really want to talk about regarding Sargeras' sword.
Come on, man, do it, man. We want that.
That's something I want to get into. That'll probably be like a 30-minute video, so that'll be fun. But
I like those.
I'd like to get back into it, and I feel like I do spend a little more time focusing on it when the weather gets cold, because we just don't go out and do as much. Whereas in the summertime, we want to go out and hike. We want to take the dog to the dog park. We want to go float the river. You know, there's more activity happening in the summer, and I think through the winter time it'll be easier for me to be consistent with content. So I'm hoping that I am, because I have a lot of support on Patreon. I have about 100 patrons on there, and those guys are amazing. And so I want to make sure that they're getting what they pay for, and also my viewers who stick around and have supported me through all of this do as well. So that's kind of my plan, hopefully.
Well, good luck to that, man. Sounds awesome. Cannot wait.
Yeah, well, we're definitely waiting for some new Pyromancer content. I cannot wait for you to get into the pre-patch video and the stuff you want to talk about, the Sargeras' sword, and so much more, my dude. You're going to play the raid probably, and I'm sure you're going to have so much material for you to go on, man. Just cannot wait. Bring it on, baby. Even, dude, make a video per week or something. It's fine. But
that's what my goal kind of was for a little bit. Like, when you look at the catalog for like about 2 months, it was about a video a week. And then I had like a week where I put up like 2 or 3 videos in like 2 days, and I'm like, fucking hey, dude, let's go.
I got
you know, like just fucking slam this content out. So that's cool. But yeah, no, I'm excited. So thank you. I appreciate that.
Once again, guys. So you heard it from the man. Okay, there's more content to come out. Be sure to check him out if you don't already have checked him out. YouTube.com/Pyromancer, Twitch/Pyromancer as well. And I don't know about the Patreon, but also, guys, Patreon.com/Pyromancer. Is that correct? If people want to go there, well, definitely support the dude, support the content. There will be content coming from Pyro, and I do believe he's among, he's from the Triforce. He has a Triforce over there in his background. Is that
that is indicative of what we're talking about?
Yeah, like Noble, Acalon, and Pyro. This the boys, all right? That's it. We need more content, man. Shit.
Yeah,
anyways,
I'll get it out. It'll come.
Yeah, man. Of course, man. We 100% understand. I mean, we're selfish when we say this, but obviously we do understand. It's tough balancing. Personal life, work, all things like that. And it is true that we do tend to do a lot more when it comes to inside activities when there's tougher weather outside. We're interesting creatures, aren't we? Anyways, it was a blast talking to you, my man. I was thinking that maybe it will not have been such wow focus, but I gotta tell you, man, it's pretty hard to not do that with you, because your fucking brain, man, just goes off, and it's beautiful. It doesn't feel forced. It feels so natural, and it's in you, man. All I can say is, dude, like keep on pressing it. Have it, even if it's like at a slower pace. But it would be a shame for you to drop it. Just keep the ball rolling in your own way. It's pretty cool stuff. That's all I can say.
Dude. I appreciate that.
Yeah,
I plan to. I'm wearing this in every video.
Oh yeah.
So I'm excited. The systems just have to be good, and I'm sure it'll be a good time if they are. So I'm sure you'll see a lot more of me in Shadowlands.
Oh yeah, cannot wait.
There's some juicy things happening in Revendreth, man. I want to know what's up.
I want to, or maybe get a better story. Who knows?
Too.
All right. So I guess we can close it off, boys. We hit the 1 hour mark, I believe, with everything that was coincided in here. Pyro, thank you so much for joining, my dude. It was an absolute pleasure. Wonderful to talk to. I honestly hope. Thank you. I hope we can do this again, because we're gonna have a season 2. Maybe we're gonna do it again after you get a little bit more into, all of us get into a little bit more of the Shadowlands stuff and what happened, and then we really have shit to talk about in WoW terms. And some updates on what happens, with your plans on YouTube, Twitch,
You never know.
Everything else.
By then, I could just be back on here doing.
Oh yeah.
We'll see.
Beautiful.
It's been a real pleasure, man, and really fun talking to you. And good luck with everything that you do, man. I know there are a lot of people that are appreciative, at least on this side of the world, in terms of the internet, that really appreciate what you do. And
sure, now, never forget about that. Man. There's a lot of folks, rooting for your ass. So keep the flag up.
And speaking of that, thank you to everybody who came to watch this and listen to me. Whether you're one of my viewers or not, I really appreciate that. It means a lot to me that you just want to hear, my opinion. And to my viewers, as I'm sure there'll be, some of them that hop on here and leave comments and stuff. Thank you guys so much. I love you guys. You guys are amazing, especially my patron supporters who have been with me for a long time, my longtime Twitch followers, the people that every video that I post, I always, I can always count on them leaving a comment. You guys are awesome. And I can't thank you enough. So thank you guys again for allowing me the opportunity to be on here. I'm definitely down to do it again sometime.
Oh, sweet.
So just hit me up and let me know, dude.
Sure thing.
As long as I'm not grinding my life away on Shadowlands.
Hopefully that doesn't happen. Hopefully we can do a 3-hour lore podcast. What? I didn't say 3 hour, man.
Shut up, man. Not 3 hours.
I could go 3 hours, bro.
I know you can. All right, let's close it off here. Thank you everybody for joining today. Thank you for listening on Spotify or whatever you listen to, or if you watched it on YouTube, even better. Remember, this is MoCast, the podcast beyond World of Warcraft.
It happens every Monday. This has been the 13th episode.
Yep.
And if this is your first episode that you're seeing, obviously we have a bunch more that you can see. And you can check the playlist on our channel. And we also do other stuff besides the podcast. And you can also have a dabble at that. But thank you again, once again, Mr. Marcellian.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Flame. And today we had Pyromancer. If you want to listen to some more lore nerdiness, you can also check the Noble episode or the Akalon episode, which we get into a little bit there
to complete the trifecta.
Yeah, because we have in the full triangle here. Anyways,
right.
see you guys next
everybody.
Monday.
Still I play WoW.